Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. I have some good news. Finally, the moment I've been waiting for. I finally gave birth to my beautiful, healthy baby girl. Her name is Jalea. She is five days old now, and she's healthy and she's beautiful. I'm so grateful, and I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys my birth story. I know you guys want to know. If you've been keeping up with my pregnancy journey, then I'm sure you want to hear my birth story because I know you guys, if you guys saw the last pregnancy related type of video that I did, you would know what my plans were. So I'm gonna tell you exactly how it went, so keep on watching. Just a disclaimer, if I need to breastfeed, I'm gonna be going to get my baby. I'm watching her on the monitor, and yep, if she wakes up while I'm recording this, I'm just gonna go and get her so I can feed her. Boobs are filling up. They're like low because they're so heavy. But all right, you guys, keep on watching. Let's get into this story. So it all started on Halloween. Oh, it's in the story, so get your popcorn. So on Halloween Eve, so October 30th, 2020, it was around 7 o'clock. Me and my family, we were going to go to the gas station, and then we were going to go to the pumpkin patch right after that. So around 7 p.m. I started having contractions. Not short contractions, but not like as strong contractions. But I felt like it was really about to get going that night, and I'm like, okay, I'm probably gonna give birth to her tonight or in the morning. So it started at around 7 p.m. So me and my family, we left the house to go to the gas station, and I continued to have contractions. So they started off 10 minutes apart, and then 15 minutes. So we went to the gas station, and I was telling my husband, like, okay, the contractions are still going, so maybe we shouldn't go to the pumpkin patch. And I felt bad because I know my 6-year-old son, he wanted to go so bad to the pumpkin patch. But my husband was like, what? He'll be all right. So he was like, you need to hit your mom and dad up, let them know that you're having contractions and that they need to be on their way to our house so that they could look after our sons while we were going to the hospital. So I text my mom, and I'm telling her what's happening, and I'm telling her every time I have a contraction, I'm basically texting her so that she knows like how far they are apart and all of that. So she's like, okay, cool, we're gonna come tonight. And then as the contractions got stronger and a little closer together, I basically ended up telling her, like, okay, y'all need to come, like, for real, like tonight, like put a rush on it. So we get back home, and I'm having the contractions, and I'm bouncing on my yoga ball. I feel like the yoga ball helps me. I feel like it helps you to go into labor, but it was just helping me to feel comfortable as possible, like while I was having those contractions. So other than that, I got rid of the ball. I'm like, okay, I need to do something else. So basically, we had watched like half of a movie, and then my parents arrived, and like maybe an hour had went by, and the contractions started getting closer, and I had in my mind like, okay, we're gonna leave at midnight. But it ended up getting a little bit later than that. We were like getting stuff ready. I'm like, all right, the bag, my wallet with my insurance stuff in it, and the car seat. And we were like, okay, we have everything. Kiss the boys, see you later. So we ended up leaving probably like around 12:30, maybe 12:30, 12:36 around that area. Or no, you know what, it had to be like 12:30 or 12:20. But anywho, we left and we got in the car, and I got in the passenger seat, and I'm like, I can't sit here because there's no way that I can have a contraction and be comfortable in this passenger seat. So my husband was like, just sit in the back seat. So we ended up putting the car seat in the passenger seat. I got in the back seat. He pushed the passenger seat all the way up and down so that I could have enough room in the back. And what I did was I basically was on my knees, or like in a squatting position on the floor in the back seat. And basically, I was basically like this, but on my knees. And I would like put my head down whenever I had a contraction. But, so yeah, it took us, what did it say? I think it was like 35 minutes to get to the hospital, because of the hospital that we were choosing to deliver her at. So it took that amount of time. But my one-year-old is knocking on the door like, all right, mommy, let me in. But so back to the story. So before we even pulled off, I had a playlist saved already on my phone. I don't know if you guys have Apple Music, but I have Apple Music, and I have this particular playlist. I think it's called like Spa Meditation Music Playlist, and it's like 20 songs. But I pressed play on the first song and I just let it ride out. I had Bae turn it all the way up, and it was basically blasting spa meditation music as I'm having contractions in the car on the way to the hospital. So every contraction I had, like, I had to close my eyes and just basically go to another place, like in my head, just go, like, basically zone all the way out, and just repeat things, positive affirmations, or count backwards, or breathe, inhale, counting up, and exhale, counting down. Like, I have like a few techniques, honestly. So if you guys want me to do a separate video on how to get through labor, or like, yeah, how to get through labor type of tips or anything like that, just comment below and let me know, because I will definitely do that. This is baby number 3 for me, and when I tell people my story, they say that I had an easy labor. So maybe that means that I might know a thing or two. So I might be able to help some of you that need help with getting through labor. Shoot, we all need help. But anyways, back to the story. Where was I? So yeah, the car ride. I would basically zone out every contraction that I had. And honestly, the music helped me so much. I feel like I had like 6 contractions while we were in the car on the way to the hospital. And once we got there, they pulled up to the front door of the hospital. He got out the car. I told him to leave the music on. Don't change anything in this state that I'm in. Like, don't change this. He just went and ran and got the wheelchair. And I just remember yelling, "Don't turn the music off," because I was like in it. And he ran and got a wheelchair, came back, and he was standing there with the security guard of the hospital, and they opened the door to let me get out and sit in the wheelchair. And while all this is going on, it's like you can only move, or how it is for me, I can only move if I'm not in the middle of having a contraction. So don't try to move me or tell me to get up, go, or do anything. Like, wait until the contraction is over, and then I can get up real quick and do whatever needs to be done. So yeah, I'm in the wheelchair at this point, and Bae's rolling me up into the front door of the hospital, and the lady, she's asking me coronavirus questions. Have you been around somebody that has fever? Blah, blah, blah. Have you? I'm like, you idiot, I'm in labor right now, having contraction. You're asking me these dumb ass questions. But I'm I'm just like, no, no, no. I'm already registered at the hospital. I need to go to the elevator. And like she got like, I could tell she had like a little attitude. But she's like, I know you need a wristband before you go up to the elevator. I'm like, I didn't say I didn't need a wristband. Just give me the damn wristband. Stop asking me all these damn questions and let me go. So she ended up having to call somebody to have them come down to help roll us up to the elevator. And then she told my husband, okay, leave your overnight bags in the car. Just go park because you can't be parked right there, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this so I'm just like sitting there. Bae runs and goes and park. And I have a contraction while he's gone. I had one contraction. And I'm just thinking in my head like, oh my God, I'm feeling the urge to push. And you know, when you feel the urge to push, you can't deny it. You can't stop it. It's unstoppable. But yeah. So once that contraction was over, he was back at me, behind me with the wheelchair. And the lady, she canceled the order for somebody to come and get us. She just ended up telling us to go to the elevator. It's upstairs to the left on such floor. Have fun. So we went in there, got in the elevator. I literally looked at my phone because I had one contraction in the elevator. It said 12:59 a.m. and they rolled me to the front desk up in the labor and delivery floor. And I'm trying to think of what questions did they ask. I don't even remember. But I just remember the lady saying, okay, let me see what room they want to put her in. She ran, came right back a couple of seconds, and room such and such. So he rolled me down into the room, and I was having another contraction and feeling the urge to push, like she was coming out at this point. And I'm getting out of the wheelchair and I'm having a contraction at the same time. Remember I told y'all it's hard for me to move while I'm having a contraction. But at this point I had the urge to push. So I really didn't have a choice. I'm like, either my baby is gonna be born in my sweatpants, or I'm gonna have to hurry up and get in bed. So I was literally getting up like this, and I was like trying to pull my sweats down, and I like stumbled a little bit, and like they caught me. They were like, oh, don't fall, don't fall. They don't want that lawsuit. But they caught me, and I pulled my pants down, and I sat on the bed, and like they finished pulling my sweats off. And my baby's head was literally, what do they call it? What's the term for that? When the baby's head is like right there and coming out. I can't even think of the term for it. But basically her head was like coming out as I was getting up and getting onto the hospital bed. So, and I was literally yelling, her head is coming out. And it's so funny because I watched A Birth Story, and it was funny because the girl in her story, she was yelling the head is coming out too, when it was like a last minute type of at home birth that she ended up having. But back to the story. Sat in the bed, and I was just in the bed, and I literally pushed her out right then and there. As soon as I got onto the bed, she just came out. Her whole body just came out. And my husband, he was so happy, like, oh my God, you did it, like, that's crazy. You did such a good job, like, she's out, babe, you did it. And I'm just like, wait, no, I'm really not even laughing or smiling. I'm like, at this point, I'm just like shaking, and I'm just like, whew, thank you, Jesus. But yeah, because with my second child, if y'all saw that birth story, I had to push so much with him. And I feel like I'm having contractions now that I'm talking about it. But I had to push so many times with him. It was like hard for him to come out. But with this one, she just slid out. She just slid out. She was ready. But yeah, so the time of birth that I had her was at 1:03 a.m. So we were literally at the hospital for probably about 5 minutes, and I had her right there as soon as I got into the hospital bed. But yeah, had her so fast that my original OBGYN, he wasn't able to deliver her, but he did show up like a few minutes after she had came out. He still got there pretty quick to me. But so the doctor that was there, they delivered the placenta after that. And then I remember asking him, I'm like, did I tear? She came out so fast, and I tore with my first. Did I tear? Or it's like some term, 2nd degree tear or something like that. But with my first 2 kids, they ended up having to give me an episiotomy, which means they had to cut me. But this time they didn't have to cut me. They didn't have time to cut me either because I just ripped. But yeah. So after they delivered the placenta, then they have to like press on your stomach so hard, and they sewed me up. And then my doctor came in and he basically checked it out, examined their work, and he was like, let me finish, because it was basically incomplete. So he finished sewing me up, and they cleaned me up, and that was that part. And I got to see my baby and hold her and have skin to skin and breastfeed her. She immediately latched on and was breastfeeding. And yeah, that pretty much sums up my story. But oh, you know what made this so even more special, just when you thought it couldn't get any more special. So I had my baby on Halloween. It was a full moon that day or that night, and it was also a blue moon. And to top that off, my baby was born what do they call it, a caul birth, C-A-U-L birth. And it's basically when the baby is born still inside of the amniotic sac. That specific type of birth is called a caul birth, and they call it like the veil. Just Google it. Or maybe I'll insert like some information about it or whatever. But excuse me, but there's like 1 in every 80,000th birth a baby is born like that. So that was like pretty amazing. Baby came out covered and protected, and I'm so grateful. She passed all her tests that they do for the birth screening and all of that, and we got to go home. Not in 24 hours like I had planned, but we ended up going home in like maybe 36 hours. It wasn't 48 hours, but regardless, I'm thankful, grateful, and it turned out amazing. And that is my birth story. Did I leave anything out? That pretty much sums it up. And you know what? I'll insert some videos from when we were in the hospital, or maybe I'll make that a separate video. I'm not sure yet, but thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you're not already subscribed. But yeah, hit the notification bell so that you'll be updated every time that I post new videos. And I hope you guys enjoyed this story. Remember to comment below if you want me to do that video on labor help with labor tips or something like that. Let me know that in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for joining me on my pregnancy journey. All right, you guys.